It's often possible to bring better meaning out of data by creating calculated fields or concatenated fields. Let's go to the student finance data, and we want to display a calculated field based on the percentage of the tuition owned as a fine. So there's a 5% fine that exists. So first I'm going to make way for that new field. I'm going to go to the label in the controls area under design tab, and I'm going to put the control on the form, and the control comes with a label. So if I click the box near the label, the brown box, I can move the text of the label. If I click on the brown box above the field itself, I can drag that one also. Let me change this text to fine. And because it's a fine, I want the text to be red. So I go to the format section and make the text red and bold. Fine. The tuition owed in the text area. So this is the label. I can change the label and say this is in dollars. Now you need to make sure not to change the field itself, because this picks its name from the database. But this one here you can change because it's just a label showing what the field is. So fine. In the field area here, I'm going to increase a little bit, and I'm going to put the equal sign. Then I'm going to put a square bracket around the name of the field which I want to compute on, which is the tuition owed, and it has to be the same spelling. I'm going to multiply this by 0.05, which is 5%. What this does is that if I save and I go to form view, it will compute 5% of this amount. So as I circle through, I'm going to compute 5% of every amount that displays in the tuition owed field. Let's go back. So once again, is a square brackets around the field name, then the computations that should take place. Let me right align this, and the fine should also be in dollars. Another thing I can do is, if I had wanted, let me go back to the student area and do a concatenated field. So I want the first name and last name to appear side by side here, large. Let's go to design view, pick my text box, and call the label full name. And then in the unbounded column, I'll say this equals to square bracket first name. Watch the spellings. And then I'm going to add an ampersand, which means end. Another box, last name. I'm not finished yet. I just want to make sure this comes up, shows up. So here also I'm going to make it the font black, and I'm going to increase the font size of the first and last names. So equal to first name and last name. It will actually put the text together. So you see Mary Ino, you see Evans Champon. We need a space in between the first name and last name. So what we'll do is we'll put quotation marks with a space in between, and then another end sign, which is the end sign. So now is on most keyboards the end sign is Shift 7. So first name and a space and the last name. Let's see what happens now. Now we have Mary Ino here as first name and last name. So this is how to concatenate text. And then in the finance area, we did a computation on values that already exist in fields.